Hi guys, and welcome to Mad Hatter Magnet Fishing and Mud Larking. It's a very windy day, so I apologise about any wind noise. I'm only popping down the river to do a quick half hour, but realistically I'm not doing this episode for magnet fishing as such. I'm doing it to test out a new bit of gear that I've been given. So a massive thank you to Andrew of Towpath Dippers. Big shout out to them. Go check out their channel, they got some great videos, great up and coming creator within the magnet fishing community, also on Facebook. So he's given me, I don't know what, I'm not quite sure what he called it, but I'm going to call it kind of like a bum bag, or you Americans would say fanny pack, but it's more like a tactical waist belt bag is what I would refer to it as myself, and it completely carries all your rope. It's got space for a couple little fines, it's got space for your magnet in it, so when you go mag larking for instance, or when you're stood on the side of the river, you're able to just have all your stuff on you and you've not got to worry about one, bending down, and two, having your rope all wrapped up somewhere. It's all just straight on you. Along with that also comes this little attachment piece that he's put on there, which is actually like a little tactical break-off clip. I'll show you all this when I get down there, but a little tactical break-off clip. I believe it's actually made to carry your water bottles or drinks bottles, whatever you might have in your bottle at the time. Sorry, I'm just figuring out where I was, getting my bearings. Just supposed to figure to carry your bottles and that, but he's managed to make it so you can loop your rope through it, and then it feeds your rope through, so you've not got your rope tangled around your legs or anything like that, and you've got the perfect amount. And then in that way you can also use it so when you're mag larking instead of just magnet fishing, it keeps the right amount of rope up for you and you don't get more dragging up behind you. Now I know I've been waffling on for a little bit now, but the point of why I've told you all this now while I'm walking down there is because I'm putting this little bag thing through its paces, where it's meant for on-site use only, but I've actually decided to wear it. I'll show you now. All I've got with me is my bucket and then this tactical bag on my waist, you see, carrying my magnet, my gloves and my rope. Now obviously, as I said, I'm only going for a little half hour. If I get any bigger bits then that'll be a different story, but I'm going to a spot that I know is reasonably clean. I'm just testing it out. So I've decided to wear it all the way down here, walking on a 20-minute walk, because that way I can test how comfortable it is after a long amount of time on your waist, and I can also test if it's a valid means of transporting your magnet from site to site, or if you realistically need a rucksack as well. Now as it stands, I'm actually feeling pretty comfortable at the moment. I can feel there's a bit of weight there because it does have obviously my whole rope and my whole magnet in there, but it's not uncomfortable. So we'll get down there, I'll test it out a little bit and I'll show you guys the kit in full, unstrapped from me, and yeah, we'll see how it works. So this is the little spot I've come down to. Now not too long ago, this entire section here was all underwater and you wouldn't be able to get to it, so you weren't basically able to get to this side of this bush unless you were either in waders or on a boat. So we're going to give it a go here, but first I'll show you this bag. Now I have to apologise to you guys slightly, as I'm when I do the magnet fishing you're not going to be able to watch me doing it too much because I've not brought me a chest strap thing. But yeah, so it's a belt, as I say, like a tactical belt clip type thing, goes around your waist. Then you've got this little clip added on there, which is what you feed your rope through. And as I said, this is actually the water bottle clip originally, and you just unclip it like that and you think, oh what, but it's still a circle, how am I supposed to, it unfolds, you see, Well, I'm making this look way harder than it should be because I'm doing it one-handed. But it unfolds, you see, and that way you can either clip it around your water bottle and it holds it perfectly. So you've got a drink, and you can have as many of those as you want, you know. But for this purpose, we've got it around the rope. So we've got that in there, and then that's, hang on, there we go, clipped into the belt piece. So it feeds your rope round, holds your rope the length you want it, and it doesn't get tangled around your feet. Always feeds it back into this pouch. Now this is the pouch that I've got on the side of my leg. Completely comfortable. Held my gloves all the way down here. Held my magnet. And held all my rope. So if you've got back issues and you still want to get out magnet fishing and you don't want to have a rucksack but you're able to carry yourself a bucket and you're able to have a belt pouch, this is the way to go. As I said, it will take as much length out as I want, and it just feeds right through. You can see I've got the rope feeded right through there, through this piece and onto me. Now I'll put it on and I'll show you what it's like. So when it's actually clipped onto me, I've got it sat on the side here because that's where I feel comfortable, my hip. You could have it on the front of you, you could have it on the back of you, whatever feels comfortable. But you see how the rope just feeds through there like that, so it doesn't get tangled around your legs or anything, and you've got the desired rope length, whatever you want to work with. I can just stand here on the bank, for instance, and let's say I just want that much rope, and I'll just chuck in, and it stays at that much rope, you see? It holds it to the amount you want. Perfect for mag larking, which I will be using this for a lot in the future. And also perfect for bank fishing like this. Right, I'm going to do a little bit of fishing and I'll show you guys what I pull out. Hi guys, so unfortunately we ended up getting rained out yesterday. Pretty much as soon as I got my bag clipped on me and was about to start magnet fishing. So there's no footage from yesterday as I basically had to go straight home. Yeah, but instead I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about the bottles I found the other day with Andrew from Towpath Dippers. Got a little bit of history about a few of them, and I thought I'd just show you what we got, or at least the ones that I've got at my house. Be sure to check out Andrew's video to see the ones that he's got at his. So to start off with, I've got a few of the amber jars that I found here. Now they're all different ages, I believe. Now I can tell you that this one is a 2-ounce Bovril, and this one, which is, I think it's a 1-ounce Marmite. Yeah, 1-ounce Marmite. And this one, which I haven't quite been able to figure out what that is. I can't tell if it says Vimoli, Viroli, or what it says, but because of the tops on them, you can see it would have had a screw top of some kind. And so I can tell you those ones are obviously later, if you will, you know, like probably, what do they call it? Not pre, the other one. But yeah, so these are after the World War II, I'd have thought. These ones I can't quite tell you the age of, but I can tell you that they're definitely earlier. And I think they're such a lovely shape. It's so different. This one again is a 2-ounce Bovril. I'll show you the difference compared. Look, they're both 2-ounce Bovrils of different ages. You can see the difference is quite a lot actually. You know, it's a very different shaped bottle. But yeah, this one I think was the Star Fine for the Bovril, a 4-ounce Bovril Limited, and look at the colour of that glass. Isn't that just gorgeous? You can see the bubbling in there, and it's just, wow. It's just so light amber, you know, especially compared to the rest of them. You see? But yeah, if anyone can tell me what that's for, or what it's supposed to say, please do, because at the moment I'm a little bit stuck. There's a couple more bits of amber glass here, but I've found out a little bit about these ones. I can't tell you an age on this one. I can tell you it's a lovely shape. Would have had a stopper. What I can tell you is that it has Milton written on the bottom of it, or embossed I should say, on the bottom of it, and I've found out that that would have held some sort of sterilizing fluid, possibly for babies' bottles, or in fact anything that needs sterilizing. So that's quite a cool one. Moving on from that one onto this large beer bottle. Now it's from, hang on, we were already round there. It says Frome, but it's pronounced Froome, and it's one of the rivers that we have going through Dorset. It's Frome and also Somerset. Frome United Breweries. Now, and I'll just show you the bottom. There's a couple little markings on there. Can kind of make them out. There you go. Now, I found out a little bit about that one. I found out that that was a beer bottle from a company that are in Somerset, or were based in Somerset. They're no longer around anymore, but they were based in Somerset. And this one, I believe it's probably on the later side looking at it. It looks like a slightly later bottle. However, the company were around from 1889 to 1955. So I'd say this would be, you know, on the later side of that, sometime within the 1900s, maybe 1940s, 1950s or something like that. So this bottle here, I am unsure as to what it is. Sorry, the lighting has just gone bad as I started filming then, but it's got, I can't quite make it out, just M1082 or something like that on the bottom, which I don't think is going to give us much to go on. However, the reason I have mentioned this is because, see if I can get it to focus, it has got a little symbol on the cap which looks a bit like a shell to me. Now, if anyone recognises, there is something there as well, just above it there, you can see, but I can't make it out. I really can't. But yeah, if anyone recognises what that would have been, please do drop it in the comments and let me know, because that would be quite cool to find out. So we've got a few sources here that we actually pulled out. I'm going to start with this one. And it's not technically a source, and it's also the one that I know the least about. All I can really tell you is that it's a genuine malt vinegar. Now, if anyone recognises it or could ID it for me, please do let me know. But moving on from that, onto these ones, I've got a little bit of info I can give you guys about these. I'm going to start with the middle one because the other two are the same, and I've got a little bit more information about those. But yeah, we'll start with this one. So does anyone recognise what that is, for starters? What company it could be from? If you said Heinz, you'd have got it right. Now, I thought, oh, maybe it's a ketchup bottle when I first got it, but I looked on the bottom and I saw Heinz. Oh yeah, maybe it is the ketchup. Surely it must be. It says Heinz Great Britain with a bottle code of 37. And I was like, 37? Okay, well, we're going to have a look at that then, aren't we? So, yeah. So I looked it up, and it turns out that, where's it gone? There it is. That the code 37 on a Heinz bottle means that it either contained pickles, mustard pickle, spiced or sweet pickle. And the bottle itself would have been made in Sharpsburg glass factory, and that would have been made between 1887 and 1900. Now, whether that's absolutely dead on, I mean, I can't be sure, because it's got a screw cap, which I thought came later than that. But that's the information I've managed to find out. So that's what I'm going with for now, basically. If you know any better, obviously, please do correct me. I'd rather learn than, you know, be left in the wandering stage, you know, as I am still quite new to this bottle stuff. I've done it for maybe a year or so, but I'm still, you know, there's a lot to learn. I'm still getting into it. Now, this is Carton's HP Sauce. Lovely bottle. They're not super duper rare, and they got a lovely shape to it though. Shape to them though, and you know, a lovely little top, I think. Anyway, we're number 3 on the bottom there. Look, on one of them, the other one doesn't. Now, when I've got quite a bit to tell you about these guys. when it comes to HP sauce, I'll turn them on their side so you get a nice little look at them. When it comes to the HP sauce, it was originally invented by a Mr. Garton. Now, he owned a small shop on Milton Street, and he came up with the idea in his pickle factory, which was in Bedford. Well, Basford, sorry, not Bedford. And it's consisting the sauce that we know today and the sauce that he invented back then actually consisted of the ingredients of vinegar, water, tomato puree, garlic, tamarind, and a few more spices, along with some raisins and flour. And that's what gave it all its colour, the brown colour we know. Now, the HP sauce name was actually registered in 1895, and he called it HP because it was heard that it was being served in a restaurant within the Houses of Parliament. So that's kind of a cool bit of information I thought I'd share with you guys. I thought it was quite interesting. This one here was smartly recognised by Andrew as apparently it's an old Lucozade bottle. I would never have guessed that, and I would never have known if he hadn't have told me. Kind of cool. So I've got two more square bottle types here. Again, these aren't particularly rare. This one I found more unusual because I've not found one in a green coloured glass, but we'll get onto that in a moment. But this, as you can see, still has a partial label. Now, if you know your bottles, or maybe if you're of a slightly older generation, you'll know, or you might recognise what that is. If you don't, then I'll tell you now. That's a Camp Coffee bottle, and it would actually have had a paper label on it. I found a few of these before. You might remember from some of my other videos, or other people's mudlarking videos. You may have seen them. Yeah, but I've only ever found them embossed, which is where I'm just going to move on to this one quickly. Like this, however, this one's not Camp Coffee. This one's actually SCWS, but it is. It's also a coffee bottle. Now you see how that's got essence of coffee and chicory written across it there. Sorry, I can catch the light there. Essence of coffee and chicory written across it there. Now that's what I'm used to seeing on these. I've not had a paper label one, which tells me it's slightly later, but I think that's really cool that it's still got a partial label. This one, I found a few of these, but never in this green colour. Now, I don't think they're particularly rare, but for me, that was definitely a good keep because it's just such a lovely colour. And as I say, I've not found one myself before. Well, I can tell you a little bit of the history about this. In fact, I'll chuck up a picture around over that side or something quickly so you can see what it would have looked like. But I can tell you a little bit of the history while you're having a look at the picture and comparing them. But basically, the Camp Coffee Company went all the way through the 1900s. And as I say, it was originally an embossed bottle. I can't really tell you too much more than that. But what I can tell you is they were around throughout the entirety of the 1900s. And as I say, they did used to originally have the embossed bottle, which would have had slightly thicker embossing than you can see on this bottle here. It's got quite thin wording on it there. It was more along that sort of lines. I'll see if I can find one of my other ones and I'll show you. Sorry guys, I'm afraid I can't grab you a comparison. It turns out I've given all of them to my mum because she wanted to do a project with them. So we'll move on to the next bottles. Moving on to this one, as you can see, it's got a really nasty crack going through it in quite some nasty places. So I've got to be really delicate with this, as it's basically ready to shatter. It's just a shame because it's a really lovely bottle. You can see it's got the gorgeous aqua blue in it there. Really lovely, some gorgeous embossing. I'll just show you the embossing here. We've got T. Roberts along the side there. On this side you've got registered. On the back it's plain. On the bottom there is, I believe it's an A. Yeah, an A with like a half moon symbol or a half circle, semicircle type thing. And across the front here, it got a bit of a dip, an inlay, and then it also goes with Croup-Line cough syrup. So that would obviously have been a medicine for a cough. The cough syrup, Croup-Line Company were actually known for more than just cough syrup. They were known for their cough syrup, among other products such as Brilliantine, aspirin, and some sort of headache powders, as well as petroleum jelly, which a lot of us nowadays would know as Vaseline. I think Vaseline's the company, but a lot of people in Britain especially would just call it Vaseline, whether it came in a Vaseline company tub or not. A lot like we do with the word Hoover when we're talking about a vacuum cleaner. But yeah, they were around from 1949 to 1963, to give you a rough date on this bottle. Now, coming on to the final little bottle I've got here, which is one of my favourites. I did get a few other things while I was out, but as I said, we went kind of splits with Towpath and what we got. He's got a little tin that I found. This one's still sealed, just about, but it is still sealed. And I think, looking at it, it might actually still have some of its contents in there, which is interesting. As I say, I got this out of a hole, not out of the water, so I don't think that's water. So I won't be opening that, and if I do open it, I'll be very careful and I'll get rid of it. But look at the colour. Lovely, lovely deep blue there. And it's still got a tiny bit of label. Now, I wasn't quite able to match this up, but I'm thinking, and if you guys can see that, I don't know if you can, but I'm thinking that might say magnesium there, just going across the top. And if that's the case, then it might be a milk and magnesium bottle, which would mean it would be used for upset stomachs and constipation and stuff like that. So that's again why I grouped that one in with the medicines. So yeah, thanks for listening to me chat for a while. I'll just give you a quick run through, quick look over again at all the bottles that I've got on this side. Do go over and check out Towpath. He's got a load more. I think he's got a bit more than I have here. I just took a few while I could. But yeah, we'll definitely be going back to that spot. So if you want to see more of this, drop a thumbs up, drop a comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. See you guys in the next one.